matter what, people will commit to misunderstanding you. What's most important is your commitment to understanding yourself. Hello, you guys. My name is Nkirka Madani, known as NK, and welcome back to Misunderstood. Coming to you live once again from the Empire State Building in the CoverGirl studio. This is my third month recording in the studio. The girls are so nice here. They always pack me a little to-go bag of goodies and makeup. It's been such a joy to come into the studio each month so far. I actually just put on the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Jelly Water Tint, and I have to say 10 out of 10. It is perfect for summer. Before we get into this episode, please take some time to rate Misunderstood, this podcast, 5 stars. I am loving the viewership thus far, as well as connecting with you guys about your stories related to this podcast and how you feel that it has impacted your life thus far. That makes me really, really proud, and it is a very fulfilling way to keep on being motivated about this podcast. Rating it 5 stars helps extremely. It helps with the exposure of the podcast, and it helps get it pushed to new audiences so that I can hopefully in the future do more and more for you and this podcast. So please, if you have not already, take some time right now to rate this podcast 5 stars. Thank you so much. Your summer should be fun. Moving right along with our summer series, we are discussing how to plan a successful Hamptons trip. And you might be thinking, why the Hamptons in specific? Well, if you remember, I talked about my summer bucket list a few episodes back, and I have been wanting to do an extended Hamptons trip. And this trip has come to be. We are fully in motion. We will be going to the Hamptons for a week in August with 5 other girls who I have never met in person. And you also might be thinking, okay, how did this all happen? We need more information. I'm going to insert the TikTok video that started it all. Looking for girls to spend a week in the Hamptons with me. I want to do a shared house just like Summer House. I've been watching it and I'm hooked. I'm obsessed. Thinking of a week in August, which is ample time to plan this and coordinate it and make it happen. Getting 5 other girls, so it would be 6 of us in total. If you're a nice, sweet, respectful, fun-loving girl, open to making new friends, open to being in a shared house in your late 20s to 30s, flexible and able to work from home, i.e. work in the house. This is essentially a social experiment, bringing together 6 girls who do not know each other, seeing how this goes. I do want to do a Zoom call with all 6 of us to do a vibe check. I want us all to come into the house for the first time, not knowing each other. Bonus is that you love creating content just like me. Is open to anybody who has a flexible schedule and is able to be in the Hamptons for an entire week. Think about all the fun that we can have. We can go to Southampton, we can go to East Hampton, we can go to Montauk, we can go to the beach, we can go to nice dinners, dress up. If you're interested in this, comment down below, as well as send me a DM on TikTok. If you want to be a part of the 2025 New York City Summer House, let me know. I'm so excited. So as you heard from that video, I have been wanting to go to the Hamptons for an extended period of time. For the past 2.5 years, I have been to the Hamptons 4 separate times, but I have always just been craving more. I've been craving more time in the Hamptons, and I thought this is my time to really lean into an extended trip. Get girls who will want to go with me, aligned, who are interested, who have that same excitement, because I get it. Not everyone has the same excitement, and that's okay. The point is finding people who align with you and finding people who share in your interests and you can do fun shit with, like go to the Hamptons for a week. I'm very excited to take you guys along this journey. And if you want to be in the know about everything that is happening, I am creating an entire video series around Summer House IRL, which is my coined term of this experience. This is directly playing off of the TV show Summer House, which I am so obsessed with. I have watched it all the way through season 9. I just love the idea of a share house having fun outside of the city, because there is so much fun to be had outside of Manhattan. So if you want to follow along, remember to follow me on TikTok and YouTube because I will be sharing so much more content about the experience leading up and during. So if you've ever wanted to go to the Hamptons, I'm breaking down my favorite spots, I'm breaking down some planning logistics, and I'm also breaking down some things to keep in mind for your trip. First off, you need to find people to go with. If you are living in New York City, if you have friends who are in the city who you want to invite, full send, do it. You can also do this as a solo trip. On this podcast, I've talked about this at length. Solo trips are so fruitful and so fun, and the Hamptons can be done in a day. You can pick one part of the Hamptons and do a day trip and come back to the city, start early, leave right after sunset, and you will have done a day trip. There are so many creators who I've seen do that. Honestly, been inspiring me to also do a day trip to the Hamptons this summer. Fully am leaning into this extended period of time that I will get to spend in the Hamptons. We are going to be there for 1 whole week. We are going to see the sights. We are going to see as many places as we can see and do as much as we can possibly do. So first and foremost, let's talk about finding the house. I highly recommend going on Airbnb. I got a notification from Airbnb a few days ago saying, congrats on 9 years of being an Airbnb customer. I have extensive tenure with Airbnb. I have used it for so many trips across so many places in the world and have curated so many trips. And I highly, highly recommend Airbnb if you are planning to go to the Hamptons. They make it really easy to search by what part of the Hamptons, how long you're staying. You can search by budget. If you don't know, let me give you a little geography. The Hamptons encompasses a lot of different areas. Me personally, I have been to Hampton Bays, East Hampton, Southampton, Bridgehampton, and Montauk. But there's so many other places like Sag Harbor, Amagansett that I am looking forward to diving into and learning so much more about. So you first have to decide what area you want to have your house in. I recommend something central like Southampton. I think Southampton is probably the most central of where you can be for the Hamptons because no matter what, you will be taking Uber or getting in a car to go to the other places, but I would say stay in the town that you see yourself doing the most in. If you see yourself doing the most in Montauk, stay in Montauk. If you see yourself doing the most in Sag, stay in Sag Harbor. That is up to you and what you see for yourself. I also want to say here and now, highly recommend renting a car. I am very much looking forward to driving out there in the Hamptons. I have my license and I haven't driven in a bit, but it's like riding a bike. When you get back into a car, it's like you've been doing it your whole life. And I'm very looking forward to driving out there in the Hamptons again. Fully believe that if you are there for an extended period of time, even if you're there for just a weekend, you should rent a car. It makes things so much easier and you are able to be so much more mobile with a car. If you are going for the first time, if you're going by yourself, and if you want to experience taking the train, the LIRR is definitely an option. One thing that a lot of people don't take into account is that the LIRR gets extremely busy. So you definitely need to leave super early to avoid the crowds and get a seat. The Hamptons is about 2.5, 3 hours of a drive on a good day. So if you are driving, you also need to leave early so that you can avoid the traffic and not sit in your car for 5-6 hours. But the train is a good option if you are adamant about not renting a car. And I think it is probably best if you're doing a solo trip to just hop on the LIRR in the morning, have a day, and then hop back on to go back to Manhattan at night. I want to talk about amenities. If you want a lot of amenities in the house, and I'm really specifically talking about a pool, personally, the pool is probably the biggest flex with a Hamptons house, but I do want to put you guys on to a little secret. A few secrets that a lot of people don't know when it comes to the Hamptons. There are so many places that you can have access to a pool and have access to the beach without needing to spend an extra $5,000 for your rental just to have the pool. Because let's be honest, once a pool is involved in your Hamptons house, the price skyrockets. I was looking at so many different rentals for me and the girls before deciding on the one that we have, which I love it so much. But before we found it. I was looking at so many other rentals. Every single one that had a pool was at least $12,000 minimum per week. No matter what, it was at least 12 grand. And people are willing to spend it, and power to you. That's great. For me and the girls, we wanted to make the pricing feasible for everybody and still be able to enjoy the week. Because think about it. If we spent $12,000 total, that's $2 grand a person. That's literally New York City rent for a week on top of your New York City rent. And then we obviously are there for a week. So we're going to go out to dinners and we're going to do excursions, and things will add up so quickly. So why not, instead of splurging on the pool amenity, find places that we can have access to a pool without that large bill? In comes Resort Pass. A lot of people don't know what this is. I learned about this back in San Francisco when I used to live there. Resort Pass is amazing, and it is the perfect way to get your pool fix without needing to rent a whole pool for a week. Resort Pass is essentially an app that houses so many different places around the area with pool access, and you can sign up for day passes, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing as a group. I'm very excited to find a ton of different locations that we can go check out for a day, a very low lift commitment, and still have access to a pool but not feel guilty about spending so much money on our house cost. I recommend, for when you're booking your house, highly recommend starting to book at least 2 months in advance. The seasons can get really busy once summer officially starts, and I'm so glad that we booked our house literally a week before the official start of summer, because now that I'm looking at Airbnb just for fun, I'm seeing most of the places that I saw 2 weeks ago are gone, because now we are in season. So try to book off season. The prices will be lower and you will secure your house, and then you just get to relax and wait to have an amazing time in the Hamptons. Next, let's talk about the itinerary, which is my favorite part of the planning of any trip. A little backstory. I have over 10 years of experience with planning and curating share houses and events. I started planning Tahoe trips with my friends in college. I planned a big blowout birthday party where 50 people were on a yacht with me, and we sailed around the San Francisco Bay. I planned an international trip to Tulum for my 30th birthday. I have extensive skills and research and experience with curating and planning amazing events. And a lot of people in my life know me as the planner and know me as the girl who is the vibe curator. So I love making an itinerary. And I also want to say, when you make an itinerary, just like everything, it's not meant to be followed to a T. Yes, there are reservations involved, and I'm not talking about that. But since we have a week, there's so much that we can do in a week, and it doesn't matter when we do them, truly. And everyone can really plan what they want to do whenever they want. But to make a rough itinerary is really great because it's a thought starter. It is a way to brainstorm, and it is a way to really help drive the conversation. So with that, I want to share with you guys some of the places I love in the Hamptons that I've been to over the past 2.5 years, as well as places I've never been, but I've heard so much about, and I wanted to share them with you in case you are planning your own trip and need some ideas. First off, Cooper's Beach. This is the best beach in the Hamptons. No, I have not been to every single beach in the Hamptons, but this opinion is not just mine. It is a nationally recognized beach, voted one of the best beaches in America. Cooper's Beach is stunning, beautiful, amazing. I love it there. I've been there 3 times now, and I cannot wait to go back. It's just so pristine, so clean, really relaxed, but it also has this really cute outdoor food shack restaurant. You can get chicken fingers, you can get ice cream, you can get merch. And now that I've been to the Hamptons a few times, I do in fact want to get some merch. And when I say merch, I mean a sweatshirt, because I just want one. A little hot tip: if you are venturing to Cooper's Beach in a car, you need to pay the $50 parking fee. So this only applies if you are driving in. If you're walking in, it's free, but if you have a vehicle, it is $50 per vehicle, and it counts for the entire day. So if you leave and come back still applies for the day. Crow's Nest is my favorite restaurant in the Hamptons that I've been to thus far. It is a Mediterranean restaurant. The food is incredible, but what I cannot even shut up about is how beautiful and how scenic this place is. It is very upscale. It is very classy, but it is literally sitting on the water, and there is a hill where the main restaurant is, but then you go down the hill and you have this outdoor bar where they serve such amazing watermelon margaritas, and you can sit there and just relax and enjoy and exist. And I had such an amazing memory there. When I went there, it was with the guy who I thought I was in love with at the time. But outside of him, it was such an amazing memory, and it holds a very special place in my heart, and I cannot wait to go back. This one is a hot take. I have never been to Surf Lodge. I heard about Surf Lodge before I even lived in New York City. This place is known for being super trendy, super sceney. Celebrities perform there every single week. They have this chicken tender tower that's apparently iconic. There's a lot of lore around Surf Lodge. And personally, I just want to go to say I went, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I am hearing is instead of going to Surf Lodge, we should be going to Gurney's, which one of my friends has been to Gurney's and she's raving about it, which is making me want to go. And apparently the pull to Gurney's is that they have these fire pits in the back. It is a resort and there's these fire pits, and it is a more relaxed energy, but does get very social and lively at night, which is perfect for me. So I will be adding that to my list for going this summer. Cowfish is in Hampton Bays. I went 2 years ago. This restaurant is so stunning, so gorgeous. It is a multi-level restaurant, but my favorite part about it is that it has an outdoor bar. It is completely surrounded by water. You can access it on a ferry or by a car, but you can access it on a ferry. There are outdoor games. There's an outdoor swing. There are boats on the dock. It is so stunning. That is where I had my very first lobster roll ever. It was $50, which was kind of insane. It was a pretty good lobster roll, especially for my first one. So I don't really have anything else to compare it to, but it was pretty good. But that place is so gorgeous, mostly for the outdoor atmosphere. Stevens Talk House. I went here last summer with Julia. This is in Amagansett. This place has a lot of lore as well. I heard about it from so many people who go out in the Hamptons. This is definitely for nightlife. This is a dive bar, but it is known for their live music. There is a cover charge and it varies by day. We paid $20 each to get in, and we also were very drunk at this point, but we had a great time. It's a place that is fun if you want a really lively night out. Wouldn't say that this is a must do. It's just a fun bar. Some places in Montauk that I wanted to shout out: Montauk Brewing Co., Joni's Kitchen, and Left Hand Coffee. These are all restaurants, food spots that you would go to during the day. Great for a quick bite at Joni's or Left Hand. You can grab a beer at Montauk Brewing and sit outside. They're very cutesy places. East Hampton for shopping. They have this gorgeous strip that is all of the nicest stores that you can think of. I've been there twice, and I honestly just love window shopping. Window shopping does not get enough praise. You don't have to buy something just because you're in a store. There's no shame of just going into a store just because you want to try something on and just because you want to see the offerings and see what's there. There's so much fun in that. And I think as a society, we pressure everybody to make a sale. And I get it on the business side, they want a sale, but not everyone needs to buy something just because they're in your store. So with that said, I love going to East Hampton just to browse. A lot of things are out of my price range, and that's just the reality. But that doesn't mean that I am not allowed to go in, and I'm not allowed to just kill some time, try things on, and romanticize my day. They have the most stunning Ralph Lauren outpost store there. It is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. I took photos there, and I want to see it again. So I will be going back. Golden Pear Cafe is where I had one of the best matchas I have ever had in my life. It was so fresh. It was really strong too. And that's when I was still building my matcha tolerance because I hadn't had matcha that often. It tasted very, very high quality. And I remember even talking to the manager who so happened to be there that day when I bought my matcha. He actually made my matcha and he told me to try it. And I was like, wow, this is really good. And then he was explaining how their matcha is imported straight from Japan. Some of the best matcha you will ever have is at Golden Pear. And Golden Pear also is a chain in the Hamptons. They have multiple different Golden Pear locations. 2 nightlife places that I'm hearing a lot of buzz about that I wanted to share here is Ketchy Beach and Rushmeyer's, places that you can go for a night out. I've never been to either of them, but both of them are on my list and I've already stalked them on social media, looked into them. They're NK approved already. And yeah, I haven't been there. So hopefully that ages well. When I go to these places, I do want to report back and let you know how it actually was. From what I'm seeing on social media, these are places that a lot of people are really loving. Lastly, I want to talk about Sag Harbor tennis. There are a lot of amazing tennis courts in Sag Harbor specifically. And I looked this up and you can literally just rent an hour of time, go play tennis. You bring your own equipment, but they actually also have equipment that you can rent. I'm very excited to play some tennis, to take hot girl walks, to grab coffee, to enjoy. The Hamptons is about enjoying, okay? There's a lot of negative rap about the Hamptons, and half of it I totally understand. But there are a lot of places, a lot of mom and pop shops, a lot of hidden gems in the Hamptons that you do have to go out of your way and find. It does take some research. It does take some digging. Don't write it off just because other people say that it's ruined or it's not as good as it used to be. Everything evolves. Every place evolves and we are evolving with it. I'm 100% a Hamptons stan because I know through experience that you can make the Hamptons exactly what you want to make it and have the best time. I really quick want to touch on outfits. Hamptons in the summer is pretty warm. It's not as warm as the city because we are by the water. The Hamptons style and the Hamptons energy is very flowy, very coastal because it is considered a beach town. Flowy dresses, bright colors because it is summer. Those are the vibes that I'm on. Cute heels, fun bags, fun prints, just glowy summer. That is what the vibe is. And I cannot wait to make a Pinterest board for my summer outfits. I actually do love making a Pinterest board for the trips I go on. I started doing this 6 months ago when I went to Wyoming and I loved it. I loved curating a capsule wardrobe for the vacation. It's just another way to get excited about a vacation. I cannot wait to see how my outfits actually come to life. But hot tip, if you're curious about what people wear to the Hamptons, very flowy, classy, bright colors, coastal. That is the overall energy. You can wear whatever the heck you want. But if you're curious about the vibes, those are the vibes. Also bring a sweater. No matter where you're going, bring a sweater because it does get pretty windy and pretty cold at night. No matter what temperature it is, at night it does get pretty cold. So have a sweater on hand. Also want to circle back one last time to the budget. Be prepared to spend money. This is not a cheap place, okay? A lot of people don't understand the costs that really go into the trip. And that cost only gets higher with how long you're in the Hamptons. I'm projecting the all-in cost of a week in the Hamptons for me for the trip I'm taking will be about $2,500. That's my projected all-in cost for literally everything. House rental to the car, to all the food, all the groceries, all the excursions, everything. $2,500 is what I'm projecting. And yes, that is a lot of money. And also that is on the lower end of what you can spend in a week. You need to be mentally and fiscally prepared prepared for your trip. This is something that you'll probably have to save up for. And if you've never been, you might feel very jarred by the cost. So I'm telling you right now, this is something that you do have to invest in, but I think it is worth the investment if you do it right. Because there's a lot of amazing things that you can do in the Hamptons. There's a lot of access, there's a lot of networking, there's a lot of just really cool opportunities that you can have in the Hamptons. Although I don't think that it's worth going very regularly, but for me, I do want to try to go once a summer. So I'm very, very excited to go in August. And lastly, I want to talk about some manifestations. During the week, I really want 3 things. I want us to get invited to a summer house party. If you've watched Summer House on Bravo, you already know what I'm talking about. They're iconic parties. They are filming Summer House already, season 10. We will be there for one of the weekends that they will also be there. So literally anything can happen. I'm crossing my fingers. And I believe that we will get invited as a house to the party. Number 2, getting into Surf Lodge. No matter what, I'm getting into Surf Lodge. This is my summer. It's been 3 summers in the making. I'm getting into Surf Lodge. Mark my words. And number 3, hit 40,000 followers on TikTok. Why I say 40,000 is because through this Summer House IRL series, a series that I planned on my own, I'm my own production team, I am my own creative director. I really want to see this blossom into something bigger than I had even imagined when I started. And I hope everybody wants to come through the journey with us, follow along. If it is successful, I want to do more. I want to do a season 2, a season 3. I want to expand this to other places in the country if this one goes well. And I do believe that it will go well. So only time will tell. But what you can do is remember to follow me on TikTok because I will be live posting the entire experience. And I cannot wait to see how this materializes. And I do believe that I will hit 40K by the end of our week in the Hamptons. I hope this episode helped you plan your Hamptons trip. I hope it first off gave you inspiration and excited you to maybe plan one as well. If you do plan one, please tag me somewhere. You can tag me literally on any social. I want to know if you plan your own Hamptons trip, where you go. Let me know if any of the recommendations I gave were helpful. Maybe I'll see you out there. And with that, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Misunderstood. Remember to rate this podcast 5 stars and follow it on Spotify and Apple. Join our Geneva group chat. We have over 300 members. I am loving the vibes. I'm loving that we are curating a space of like-minded women. So if you want to be a part of it, join using the link in the description of this podcast episode. Another plug for our Jot form. We have a Jot form that you can submit any questions for future episodes, anything that's on your mind. I highly recommend utilizing the Jot form, and I look forward to hearing from you. Connect with me on my other socials, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest at nkmadani, and I will talk to you guys next week.